Welcome to the Metals Events and Forum. It's my great pleasure to have West Point Gold back. Welcome, Quentin.
Thanks so much, Chen, for having me again.
Okay, great. So, since we last talked, you made a lot of progress. And maybe tell people what you have done so far.
Well, it's been pretty incredible, actually, because we've actually managed to raise $8 million. We've got some long-term gold institutional funds. Our largest shareholder is now VanEck. VanEck only owns two early-stage companies, and we're one of them. They're now a 12% shareholder, and so that's nice to have them on the book.
Very nice.
Joe Foster from VanEck is a great supporter. And so that's essentially allowed us to fund a 10,000-meter drill program, which started several weeks ago. The first phase of that actually is just wrapping up yesterday. We did 1,000 meters of shallow drilling right along kind of the spine of Tyro, the superficial expression. The drilling into the structure has been kind of like this. So drilling at the surface allows you to bring the model to the surface for a maiden resource. There's trenching all along the structure of the 1 kilometer that's actually economically grade mineralized, but being able to drill it, you get a lot more confidence in 50-meter spacing. And as you can imagine, that should give us indicated, certainly measured, but definitely a good shot for getting measured numbers as well from that. So we'll start to expect results from that in October. We've got a bigger drill arriving in a couple of weeks. That's going to start a deeper drill program. Those of you that saw hole 49, 47, 48, 60 meters of just under 5 grams from surface.
Amazing drill results.
Within that 30 meters of 9 grams, we're going to drill a fence of holes below that 50 meters from that program as the first thing we do. Okay. And as we've been saying all along, the Tyro structure is only 1 kilometer of a 3.4 kilometer structure. And there's a fault structure, the Banner Sheep Trail, that on the other side of it, the Tyro extends. We're calling that the Tyro South and the Tyro East. So that additional 3.4 kilometers, we've actually going to be, we've got some drill pads set up to drill that as well. So while the results are being assayed for the north end, we're going to go drill some holes on the extension of Tyro, which could just blow the doors on this. And so to tie that all together, and I would say the most significant information we posted right before Beaver Creek a couple of weeks ago is that we've now got a model that is 19 million tons to 30 million tons at a low end of 2 grams and an upper end of 3 grams. So, you can do the math on that and know that as superficial, and that's just on the 1 kilometer part of the Tyro structure. If we can start to hit economic grade mineralization, again, around historic mines on the Tyro South extension of that, we're looking at an incredibly huge and meaningful world-class target here, an opportunity. So the drill's going to be in there testing that in the coming months.
Oh, that's super exciting. And this is a great discovery. I mean, I'm an investor of your company, so I can say some forward-looking statement. I'm hoping for at least 5 million ounces. I mean, from what you have, maybe more. Looks like.
Well, we certainly have an interesting opportunity with a lot of multi-million ounce targets along the structure. And as mentioned, just that Tyro structure alone is only 3.4 kilometers. But if you actually look at the local district, we're actually got 15 kilometers. We've got one of the very few regional plays, or district plays is probably a better term. And that 15 kilometers, there's historic mining all the way along that structure as it heads up actually to the northwest. So Tyro is a northeast southwest trending structure, but this actually goes up to the northeast. And as we know, when you've got the geologists love when structures intersect each other, because that's when the fluids come up that are mineralized. And essentially, we're going to be right where those two structures meet is the Tyro South area, which we haven't even actually drilled yet.
Wow, this is amazing. This is going to be an amazing discovery.
Yeah.
Also, I want to cover a little bit because there's a lot of confusion from the market when you release your initial metallurgical study.
Correct.
Tell us what you have that and what do you expect to improve on that?
Well, the area is low sulfidation system, and so what we did essentially was just low cost first pass just to make sure that the mineralization was cyanide soluble, so meaning low sulfide.
Low sulfide.
And basically, that's all we were trying to prove on that. We actually put that news out in early August, thinking, "Oh, this is great news because it's low we've just demonstrated it's low sulfidation," which we thought we were doing, and the market sold off on that news because for at least from the response we got, was people were wrapped up in we didn't actually grind it down to actually figure out that was something more expensive work that we were going to do as follow-on. And so that's actually what's happening now. So quite honestly, it was actually great news, because we now know it's amenable to heap leaching and demonstrated that. And now we're doing the subsequent testing. And it's a good question and important to know that the metallurgy works. And this base level information is actually quite important kind of groundwork for us to take it to the next level. Believe it or not, our executive chairman, Derek McPherson, is actually a metallurgist. So he's actually his background. So he's actually got a great understanding of this. And he's just saying, well, as you know, at junior companies, we need to very much focus on rule number one, which is don't run out of money, aside from finding a deposit like this. And so, we're just doing everything methodically. And once we've got some information, we'll take the next step. So that's more or less what we were just being essentially respectful to the Treasury, not doing a lot of expensive work until, and again, if it's not amenable to heap leaching or cyanide soluble, why would you want to go?
Exactly. So it's the first batch of results, and investor saw this is like the final. This recovery, I don't like the number, but it's the first round. So there will be a lot more metallurgical results.
It's underway too. So stay tuned for more.
It's
more
the proof of concept. Yes, and it works. The good. It should be a positive news, and the market took it wrong.
Correct.
Okay, great. So I'm glad that I'm an investor. So I look at the share price. I said, "Wow, what's going on?" But I'm glad that we put it back to rest. So what's also maybe touch up a little bit. You seem to have grabbed some very interesting ground in Nevada recently. So what's your plan there?
To preface that, it's a great question, and to preface that, in such an incredibly hot gold market, getting assets that are developable, like with a known resource, is very competitive and very expensive. We found an opportunity here with this asset. It's Baxter Spring, which is drill ready. It has 11,000 meters of core of RC drilling, another almost 2,000 of core. It had over 10 million US worth of work done on it. However, it's always been a secondary asset for other companies. We saw this as an opportunity to say, this is drill ready. It's a great analogy for gold chain. Saying that, okay, we can get this for a reasonable amount of money, and it was equivalent of $6 million Canadian in stock for us at 45-cent valuation. And this now gives us an alternative asset to go say, okay, our foundation and primary work is going to be done at Gold Chain, but we've got something else we can do in the background to say, hey, this is a really interesting asset. It's not too far south from Manhattan and a little bit further away from Round Mountain. So it's in the right district. It's got the right address, just outside Tonopah. And it's a project that's got historical drilling, historical mining. We all know it's high grade. There's a great adit there, which of course is 1,000 feet of historic gold mineralization. And we know that 100 years ago, they were mining half ounce or better.
Yeah, right.
And this is, if you remember any other asset that fits that bill, you've got Gold Chain. And looking what we're doing at Gold Chain. So we see this as one of those opportunities that you just couldn't miss up. And we've got a project that is kind of a secondary project, because our next biggest or kind of most important project is the Jefferson Canyon project, which is joint ventured with Kinross.
Right.
So it's really at their purview to go and do the work at. But this project is something that we can actually go do some work on. Correct.
So what's your plan on that?
Well, our plan right now is to actually, we're going to consolidate all the data. A lot of it hasn't been digitized. It was drilled in the 80s. And so a lot of that information has to be digitized, get more, we want to actually go into the adit and actually take some samples from it, because going to the Gold Chain project, Tyro, there's that shaft we go in, and that shaft actually is half an ounce. So you start doing some samples along the breccia there, and you're getting great gold grade. If we can recreate that in that adit on the Baxter Spring project, you're going to have a pretty good impetus for us to do some more work and actually follow up with drilling. It's drill ready, but with some more work, we can actually really hone in on some targets there.
Okay, great. Finally, maybe tell us what's your working capital? You just completed a very successful raise recently, right?
Correct. Yeah. Unfortunately, or unfortunately, we didn't drill during the summer. It gets to 130 degrees Fahrenheit in there. So when you start to look at health and safety issues, the cost goes up. So we didn't drill. Remembering that 12 months ago, there was only 1,000 meters of drilling into Tyro. Now there's 7,000 meters of drilling. So we consolidated that data. I strongly encourage everyone to go look at the model. We've just signed up with Verify. We've got this wonderful wireframe model that I mentioned is 20 million to 30 million tons now at 2 grams to 3. It's a compelling model now. And with that said, we've now embarked on the next program. So to answer your question about the treasury, we're now drilling as of the beginning of September. The bigger drill arrives in a couple of weeks. So there's going to be drill results now coming out over the coming months. And we as of the end of the quarter, we had just over $9 million Canadian. Now that we're drilling, you can imagine that the treasury is going to start to decrease a lot more rapidly than that. And we're actually just been offered a second drill to start at the end of November around U.S. Thanksgiving. So there's a very good shot we're going to have 2 drills, RC drills. Wow. If we get any joy at the target, now called Tyro South, used to be called Sunset, we're going to keep one drill working Tyro, one drill working Sunset, and we actually have a core rig reserved for January. So yeah, we're going to be pay attention. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hope to feel a lot of good news and a lot of catalysts in the next few months. Yeah. Wow. Good luck, Quentin. Yeah. Very impressive.
Yep. Thanks so much, Chen.